I saw a tweet this morning actually from SRK, and I'm paraphrasing it a little bit here, but the idea was 2015 to 2016 image and vision. Someone added 2017, 2018 Transformers, 2019, 2020 NLP, 2021, 2022 ML Ops. And the big question was 2023, 2024 question mark. And they were soliciting thoughts on kind of what's next. An idea that we've been talking about that we'll kind of discuss more here, it could be the thing that fills in that blank. And this idea of compositional machine learning, we've kicked it around a couple times in prior conversations. And maybe this is kind of a good entree to have you share a little bit about when you think of this idea of compositional machine learning. What is it? Where did it come from? What were some of the inspirations that you've seen recently that started you thinking down this line?
Yeah, I really like that framing, and it's funny how quickly all of those changes happened. I think there's also this whole question around foundational machine learning or foundational models. Where are we in sort of the adoption curve? I think an idea that we've been kicking around, I know that you and I have talked about in the past, is this, or more recently, around compositional AI. And so for us, we're really at I would say, the beginning of a lot of folks' journey into machine learning. So Gradient, our machine learning stack, is used by, at this point, hundreds of thousands of data scientists and machine learning engineers for primarily a Jupyter notebook product, similar to like a Google Colab or kind of a web-based IDE. And so we've been really close to seeing folks kind of begin their journey into machine learning. And very rapidly, we've started to see some kind of interesting breakout cases of how machine learning has become sort of composed or remixed in a way that I think is just fascinating. A couple that come to mind that have really kind of sparked an internal, kind of dialogue for us at Paperspace have been, one is this model, a first order motion model came out of NeurIPS in 2019. And then earlier this year, we had someone on our platform build a lip syncing app that went from, sort of academic paper a couple years ago to, number one app in the App Store in lots of countries worldwide. And so, it's kind of interesting where you see, maybe an app developer taking a machine learning model and applying it to something odd or interesting. The other one that I think has been really inspiring is we talk a lot about, who's the audience of this, and is it software engineers, is it data scientists, is it mathematicians, statisticians, and I think it's actually gone expanded more quickly than we could have imagined. So today, one of the biggest audiences in the Twitter sphere is artists and creators, folks doing generative art. And that's been precipitated largely by OpenAI's CLIP model, which is contrastive language image pre-training, which basically was a model that was introduced that, when you kind of remixed it with a couple of other generative models, gives you the ability to use a text-based input and generate really fantastical, amazing art projects. And now this is making its way into NFTs. So I think what's really interesting today is whether or not some of these big models are foundational or essential or whatever. I think what we're seeing is, they're getting composed in interesting ways. So the API is not necessarily a cloud-based API that people are consuming, but really like taking these building blocks and reapplying. So I think this idea of compositional AI is something that it's kind of a framework that we're understanding how machine learning is moving past kind of this academic phase into kind of unexpected and interesting real world applications.